scroll, you click, you watch. And then 2 hours are gone, not stolen, handed away. There is a version of you, the one who trains, builds, creates. It existed today. It just never showed up. Miyamoto Musashi lived in feudal Japan. He fought over 60 duels. He never lost once. And he left behind a philosophy so precise, so ruthless, that it cuts through every excuse your modern brain has ever made. This video is about one thing: how to stop wasting your life on high dopamine traps, using the exact mental framework Musashi used to forge himself into something unbreakable. And it starts with unlearning one thing you have been doing your whole life. What you're about to learn is called Mu no Kokoro, the mind of nothingness. It's not meditation, it's not productivity hacking, it's not a morning routine. It's a 400-year-old discipline that produces exactly one result: a person who acts without needing to feel good first. You've been trained to wait for the feeling before you move. Musashi never waited. He could not. When your opponent has a sword, you don't scroll through your phone for motivation. But here is the warning: this isn't a system for everyone. It demands that you give up the one thing you protect most: your comfort in the small hours of the day. Let me show you what that looks like in practice. Marcus, 29 years old, junior software developer, actually talented. Every morning his alarm went off at 6:30 in the morning, and every morning he picked up his phone before his feet touched the floor. 45 minutes of reels, news, YouTube shorts. By the time he stood up, the day felt already heavy. He had a side project, an app he had been going to build for 14 months. He had notes, he had ideas. He had a Notion board with 47 color-coded tasks. He had everything except the actual app. He'd tried the usual things: screen time limits, app blockers, digital detox weekends. Monday, motivated. Wednesday, bargaining. Friday, back to the feed. Then one evening, around midnight, frustrated after another hour of scrolling he'd promised himself he wouldn't do, he fell down a rabbit hole and found a translated passage from Musashi's Dokodo, The Way of Walking Alone, written in 1645, a week before Musashi died. 21 precepts. No comfort. No encouragement. One line stopped him: do not pursue the taste of good food. He read it twice, set the phone down. Not about food, about hunger, about training yourself to act without needing the experience to feel rewarding first. Marcus sat with that for a long time, because for the first time, someone wasn't telling him to be motivated. Musashi was telling him to stop needing to be. But understanding why that sentence stopped him cold requires going back 400 years to a man who never once waited to feel ready. Chapter 1: The Dopamine Architecture. Your brain runs on a reward prediction system. When you anticipate pleasure, dopamine fires before the reward arrives. This is why scrolling feels productive. The dopamine hits on the scroll, not the content. Psychiatrist Anna Lemke at Stanford, who has spent over 2 decades studying addiction and compulsive behavior, describes how every high dopamine activity recalibrates your baseline. The balance tips. The same stimulus produces less. You need more just to feel neutral. This is called dopamine deficit, and it's the real reason focus has become so rare. It's not that you're lazy. Your reward system has been repriced. Musashi understood this without the neuroscience. In the Dokodo, he writes, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world." The moment you prioritize your comfort over your direction disappears. The next morning, instead of picking up his phone, He opened the code editor, he grabbed a notebook, and he started counting. Every time he moved from a hard task to a soft one, he logged it. On day 1, he counted 23 in a single morning, 23 times before noon. But the phone wasn't the real addiction. What Marcus was actually hooked on was something he was proud of. It took him 3 more days to figure out what. Chapter 2. The Ritual Trap. The Notion board had 47 tasks, organized by priority, by deadline, by color, 0 lines of code. The phone wasn't the problem. It was what the phone replaced. Musashi trained every single day. Not because he loved training. Accounts describe him as obsessive, isolated, a man who reportedly refused to bathe for months at a time. He trained because he had built keiko, the Japanese concept of practice without audience, without applause, without external confirmation. Modern self-improvement culture has inverted this completely. We document the workout. We post the page count. We share the cold plunge. The ritual has become a performance, which means it requires an audience, which means it requires dopamine, which means it requires the same system you're trying to escape. Marcus realized his Notion board was the trap. Organizing the project felt like building the project. He deleted the board, all of it. The first day without it felt like falling. He had removed the trap, but the habit was still there, and the habit was the problem. Chapter 3. Mu no Kokoro. Here's what no productivity system will tell you. The real enemy isn't distraction. It's the need for your work to feel like progress before you've done it. That's what mu no Kokoro actually means. Not absence of thought, absence of attachment. You move, regardless of outcome, whether it feels right or not, whether the result is good or not. That's all there is. Musashi wrote in the Book of 5 Rings, "Do nothing that is of no use." The psychologist who coined the term flow spent decades studying what happens when people work without external reward. He found that when the challenge slightly exceeds current ability and the audience disappears, the brain shifts into complete absorption in the task itself. No performance needed, no dopamine required. That psychologist found it in chess players, surgeons, and climbers, and Musashi had built it 400 years earlier, one duel at a time. Remove the performance. Remove the reward signal. The work becomes the only thing left. Marcus started with 25 minutes. No phone in the room, no music, no visible timer, just the code editor open. The first session, he wrote 11 lines, bad lines. He kept them. He was building something. For the first time in 14 months, it was real. Then came the night that almost ended everything. Chapter 4. The craving never lies. He kept it up, 21 days, and then it collapsed. Not dramatically. There was no crisis, no bad day. Just a Tuesday evening, quiet, and the buzz of his phone on the desk. He picked it up, opened Instagram, scrolled for 6 minutes, closed it, 6 minutes. But the mental static that followed lasted 3 days. He wasn't scrolling. He was thinking about scrolling. The absence of the habit had created a craving that sat in the background of every focused session, a low hum that was always there, always asking. He sat down, opened the notebook, almost closed it again, and then he found a second precept. Dokodo, number 2. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Not harsh, not punishing, just precise. the 6 minutes were not failure. They were proof that the system was working, because the craving only exists where the habit used to be. That craving was not the enemy. It was evidence. Musashi understood this from personal experience. At his most famous duel on Ganryu Island in 1612 against Sasaki Kojiro, the finest swordsman in Japan at the time, and fencing instructor to Lord Hosokawa, Musashi arrived hours late, deliberately. He used the weight to carve his bakken, his wooden sword, from an oar on the boat. Longer than Kojiro's blade. He didn't need perfect conditions. He used what was available. Marcus didn't delete the 6 minutes. He wrote them in a notebook and underneath wrote, "I used what I had." 90 days later, Marcus's app had its first version live in the App Store. Not perfect, just over 300 lines of real code. One morning, he noticed he hadn't checked his phone until 10. It was still there, but it had a different weight now, something he chose, not something he fell into. His colleague stopped him in the hallway. "How are you so focused lately? It's kind of unsettling." Marcus didn't explain Musashi. He said, "I stopped waiting to feel like it." He wasn't someone who was trying to build an app anymore. He had become someone who builds. Now look at yourself. Maybe you're exactly where Marcus was. Maybe you have the notes, the ideas, the color-coded board. Maybe you've tried the screen time limits and relapsed by Wednesday. Your situation is different, but the mechanism is the same. High dopamine doesn't steal your time. It makes you prefer to give it away. Mu no kokoro is not a mood. It is a decision made before the feeling arrives. Delete the performance. Keep the practice. Stop waiting for the motivation. Move before it comes. Think lightly of yourself. Think deeply of what you're building. Choose your direction over your comfort every single day. This is what Musashi understood 400 years ago, alone in a cave called Reigando, writing his final words with no audience, no reward, no one watching. He wrote anyway. The version of you that could have trained, read, built, created. That version exists today. Stop waiting for it to feel good first.